Naughty Dog's upcoming Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet game is pretty much dead on arrival. The game made it very clear that it was going to be pushing degenerate LGBTQ propaganda just by the fact of its character design. And now we have discovered that the voice actress and face actress, it wants to literally normalize and have the vile LGBTQ plus agenda embraced. Roll this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. I encourage you to head on over, become a paid subscriber, help support us, fight back against this vile agenda that is trying to destroy people, destroy video games, destroy our society. We must put a stop to this. So, Tati Gabrielle is the actress who plays the character Jordan A. Munn in the upcoming Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet game. And she made clear that she not only wants the vile LGBTQ plus agenda normalized, but embraced. And I think this is a massive, massive indicator that this character here is likely not going to be depicted as a female. They are going to be inserting gender ideology into this game, and the main character is going to be a character that is clearly having mental issues, that doesn't think that men cannot become women. This is going to be a character that thinks that men can become women and women can become men. That is not possible. It is not possible at all. Anyways, so this was brought to the attention of the public by former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, aka Grums, and he shared a video to his X account of what Gabrielle said back in March 2023 as part of the Unforgettable Gala. Let's just take a listen to what she had to say, because I think it just speaks, she just speaks for herself right here. Just clearly just how evil this stuff is.
And then as far as with non-binary and transgender, I hope that we just start seeing that the future is here whether we like it or not. We need to not just accept it, but embrace it. Embracing something and seeing not only the beauty of it in it, but the way that it contributes to the world and contributes into the way that anybody of any gender, race, creed, color can form their identity and can walk through the world with pride and their chin up high, like I think is so important for the generation coming behind us.
So clearly, absolutely trying to promote this evil, saying not only do we need to just accept it, but we have to embrace it. That is the absolute opposite that we should be doing. We do not need to accept this, and we definitely should not be embracing it. We should be condemning it for what it is. It is vile. It is evil. It leads people down a path of destruction. The evidence is very, very clear. You start embracing it through the pronoun nonsense, and then you get into other things where you're working with hormones, where you're working with actual physical mutilation and castration, and then obviously you get into the things where it can lead to self-deletion, and that is what this is promoting. This is promoting that. It is promoting a culture of death, and we must reject it. We must say no to this. We must not allow this to be normalized. We must make it so it's not even thinkable anymore. Because it wasn't. This wasn't even thinkable. Like, in my lifetime, I'm not even 40 years old, and this wasn't even thinkable just, 10 years ago? No one was even talking about this stuff, and now it is all over our culture and society, and it is leading people down paths of death and destruction. We must push back against this. And it wasn't just this interview, though. She also told The List this in 2023. I feel that film and television is supposed to reflect the world back at itself. That's absolutely not true. J.R. Tolkien has talked about this. I've cited this multiple times. He says that the pinnacle of the fairy story is the eucatastrophe, which is allowing us to get a hint, discover a gleam of evangelium. It is to point us upwards. It is to point us towards God, what is true, what is beautiful. It is not to reflect what the world is. Anyways, she goes on and says, when you do that with the characters that I've played in a way that is grounded, that is normal, as it is in our everyday life, that's how you give the best homage to someone who is standing in that field. Absolutely not. We should not be making this normal at all. It is not normal. Because she's obviously talking about LGBTQ plus representation right here. She then noted that the industry should take things even further. They can go further, as opposed to having just one character that is LGBTQ or non-binary, make it reflect the way that our society is, sprinkle more in there. Again, this is not what they're even talking about, right? Adding in more of this stuff isn't a reflection. What they're trying to do is they're trying to normalize this by putting more and more and more of it in, so you think that there are actually more people that buy into this than there really are. So they're literally trying to shape what you think is reality when it is not. It's not the case. It is very clear that this is not what reality is. Look at any kind of serious studies on this. There are a lot of non-serious studies. You have to be careful about where you're getting that information from, because these people, they are so devious, they are so evil, they will literally make up data in order to push their sick, twisted agenda and get people down this path of death and destruction. The networks can listen more to the fans and pander more to them by listening and understanding that when they're shouting their outrage toward things, it's not just because they want to be bratty and they want to be whatever, but they want to be represented properly. They want to see themselves. We all watch movies as children and find a piece of ourselves in a character, and that's what gives us inspiration or hope for our own future. If they listen a little bit more, we can go a lot further. We should not be doing this at all. This, again, leads people down path of death and destruction. And then to that point, she said this: more shows should have a consultant of some sort. In LGBT, if you're going to touch on our field and in that topic, have a consultant, have somebody that you can directly ask. Don't guess, because that's often the problem. The showrunners that we had for The 100, which is a show on CW, they tried and they were trying to be inclusive with that, but I think they didn't have enough education and enough information around it. Have a consultant, or make sure you're educated. She's basically advocating that video game companies hire Sweet Baby Inc. or someone like them, and movies and television studios hire similar, likely GLAAD, etc., which we've talked about here, and how they are influencing the video game industry down this path of death and destruction. So this person is a radical activist who is trying to lead people down a path of death and destruction. And of course, Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog, have hired her seemingly to play the main character of their upcoming game, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. And when you see this happening, usually means that the game is going to be pushing the same ideology, because they hire these people to do this stuff. That's their whole idea, right? Hire people to play that type of character. You can't hire anyone else to play that type of character, right? You can't hire someone like Christopher Judge to play Kratos anymore, because he's not the same skin color as Kratos. They don't accept that anymore. That's not part of their twisted, warped ideology. So this stuff, I definitely feel like, is going to be all over this game. And if that's the case, 100% dead on arrival. I think the character designs already indicate that this is going to be a game that is dead on arrival, signaling that it has this ideology injected into it. And just to be clear, Bishop Michael Burbidge explains how the faithful should respond to this agenda and movement. He says to affirm someone in an identity at odds with biological sex, or to affirm a person's desired transition, is to mislead that person. It involves speaking and interacting with that person in an untruthful manner. Although the law of gradualness might prompt us to discern the best time to communicate the fullness of the truth, in no circumstances can we confirm a person in error. And obviously, I do think there is a difference when you're dealing with a person who is actually struggling with this evil that is being kind of put onto them, that they might be actually buying into these lies and embracing it. I think there's obviously a difference in how you deal with that person on a one-to-one level, rather than dealing with a video game company and a narrative team and these people here in public that are trying to normalize it through the entertainment mediums that we have. I think there's a complete difference in how you deal with that, and I think we can clearly call this stuff out, condemn it, reject it, say no to it, encourage others to do the same, because what we're dealing with is pure evil. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.